We're going to start talking about rotations, and a rotation is also called a turn. If you think about rotating something, you're just kind of moving it in a circle. Turn, the same thing, you're just moving it kind of in a circular direction. All of our rotations or turns, we're going to think about it in a circular kind of manner. And I'm always going to relate this to a clock. I think it's the easiest way to do it. And that's basically what you do when you make a rotation, is you either rotate it clockwise or counterclockwise. Okay? First, we need to make sure we understand what clockwise and counterclockwise is. Clockwise means we're turning whatever we're dealing with the way a clock would turn. So if I had 12 o'clock right here at the top, I would be turning it this way because that's the way the clock hands turn. Okay? Over here, if we want to turn something counterclockwise, we would still start at the top, but then we would go the opposite direction. We would kind of go being backwards of what we're used to here. So those are two terms that you definitely need to be familiar with, as clockwise or counterclockwise. The other thing we need to look at is how a circle actually works. Okay? There are 360 degrees in a circle. That's a big important thing to remember. 360 degrees in a circle. So if we take a shape and we're going to rotate it clockwise, if I turn it clockwise, kind of one turn, we turn the shape 90 degrees. If we turn the shape two turns, it's going to be completely upside down, and we turn it 180 degrees. If we take it three turns, it's almost back to where it started at, but that would be 270 degrees. And if we turn it a fourth turn, we're going to be exactly where we started at, and we would have turned it 360 full degrees. We started at 0. 360 degrees gets you back where you started. So basically 0 and 360 are going to be the same thing here. Now, if we do counterclockwise, we're going to take the shape, start at 0. It's going to be one turn this way this time, the opposite direction, because we're going counterclockwise. So that would be 90 degrees. And if you notice that a counterclockwise turn of 90 degrees is the same thing as a clockwise turn of 270 degrees. So that's something to think about. They're basically opposite. Okay? Two turns is going to get me to 180 degrees, which is exactly upside down. Those are going to look exactly the same no matter which way you do it. If you do two turns on either one, it's going to be 180 degrees. And now if we do three turns, we're going to get up here to 270 degrees. We're almost back to where we started at. The three turns going counterclockwise is the same thing as the one turn going clockwise. And then if I do a fourth turn, it gets back to where we started at. So this is basically what we're going to be looking at throughout this. And I'm always going to refer back to this. If you can get this down, you won't have any problem with this. Okay, I want to switch boards here because I'm going to give you our first example problem here. Okay, in both cases, I've got a isosceles triangle. Two sides the same, one side different. That's an isosceles triangle. I'm going to show you what this triangle would look like throughout all these turns here. Okay, so we're going to start with clockwise. Okay, so if I go one turn clockwise, that's going to be 90 degrees, and then my triangle is going to look like this. That would be a 90-degree turn. Okay, if I keep turning it clockwise, another turn, it's going to be 180 degrees, and our triangle is going to be completely upside down of what we started with. Now, if I do another turn clockwise, we're going to be up to 270 degrees, and another turn clockwise, it's going to look like this. These two are actually opposites if you think about it. We're still headed clockwise. Now we get very back to the beginning here, okay? And it turns out what it started at, and that would be a full 360-degree turn, okay? That's what it would look like going clockwise. Now, for counterclockwise, we're going to go the opposite rotation of a clock. So I'm going to go this way first. That first 90 degrees, this time is going to look like that, okay? And if you notice, 270 degrees over here and 90 degrees going counterclockwise, the shape's going to be the same, okay? Another 90-degree turn, or another part of a turn, we're going to be at 180. and it's going to look like this, which is exactly the same as this 180. Now if I turn it another 90 degrees, I'm going to be at 270 degrees, which is going to look like this. If you notice, our 90 degree clockwise turn and our 270 degree counterclockwise turn end up being the exact same thing. And then we go back up to the top, we made a full 360 degree rotation, and we get back to that triangle up there. We're going to take the letter G this time and rotate it or turn it in all those directions again. So let's say I wanted and we're just going to do individual ones now. I want to know 270 degrees clockwise, what that would look like. Okay, so we're going to have to go over the clockwise one and think about how a clock rotates, and we'll have to go through what it's going to look like. Okay, this would be 90. That would be totally upside down, which would be 180, and then here would be our 270. Okay, so we got to get it to that point. So if I turn it 90 degrees, it's going to look like that. There we go. If I turn it at 180 degrees, it's going to be completely upside down. And then my last one is going to be 270 degrees. It's going to look like this. So if I want to know what the shape is going to look like at 270 degrees clockward turn, it's going to look like this. I got to turn my board to do it just because I can't write sideways, but that's what it's going to look like. Okay. Now, if my question is, which one of these counterclockwise rotations is going to look like this? Okay. That's my question. Which one is going to look like that? So let's check it out here. Okay. Counterclockwise is going the opposite direction, so I can fill in my blanks here. 90, we're going up by 90s, 180, and 270. So I want to know which one of my counterclockwise ones is going to match this. It's going to match 270 clockwise. So let's think about it here. Let's go counterclockwise. We'll go this way. Turn it like this. Put my G on there. Oh, well, we've got it already. There we go. This is the same as this. So we could say that a 90 degree counterclockwise turn is the same as a 270 degree clockwise turn. Okay. Now we can fill in the rest just so you can see what these would be here. 180 over here is going to be the exact same as 180 over here. It's going to be just completely upside down. And then if I go to the next one over, my 270 degrees is going to look actually like my 90 degrees over here for the clockwise turn. And then, of course, one more turn is going to get you back to the original shape, which would be a full rotation or 360 degrees.